Okay, turn 32. Some good news, some bad news this turn. Good news, there was a battle in Hinnom. And we can see here what happened. So I've got my pile of infantry with piles of skeletons and some ogres. He's got a pile of archers, some spearmen, and some chariots. We throw our buffs, go in, and the chariots get vaporized. It's actually the Avites who cause the most problems, and this is something I did not necessarily anticipate, but I think it's because they repel. I think it's because they repel a lot. Well, and it's also because they're prop roll of 30 plus 9? 14 plus 7. This is interesting. I don't know. Anyway, they have heavy enough armor that combined with their HP, they survive axe hits fairly well, and they have pretty decent defense skill, and I think they can repel as well, the Avite Spearmen. So the Avites are actually the biggest problem. Like, the chariots just get murdered, as I anticipated. But in any case, we win the fight. We take fairly heavy casualties, but we also wipe out. You know, we wipe out about 30 units plus the province defense. We take 80 casualties. Interestingly, I don't know where all those casualties came from, because they're not listed as kills here. I think a lot of my long dead just died for some reason. I mean, I'm sure the Kohen was casting banishment spells, but those kills should be listed for him, and they're not, so I don't know what's going on there. But in any case, we took fairly heavy casualties, about 50%, but I think that should be about 50% of the Avite units that are in the capital as well, if not more. And of course, we've locked them down so they can no longer recruit. We're pushing in another 50 skeletons to back us up, and we are reanimating. Reanimation on this province only costs 2 death gems. So we have 5 people reanimating this turn. We will add a 6th next turn, and we will blow all of our gems reanimating over 100 long dead in the next 2 turns, which should help. There was also a battle in Arcocephale, which was interesting. It didn't go quite as well. He had, in addition to his pile of chariots, he had some Seir, some Avite Spearmen, who have slightly higher defense skill, including their experience, and a Melkart, not a Seir summoner, with his defense skill 20. Also, my army wasn't as impressive. A lot of it is PD, and this army is just smaller than the one I had in Hinnom. So we dropped Legions of Steel, we dropped Strength of Giants, the province defense charged in, got eaten by the Seirs, the chariots rolled in, got mulched, and then so this is what I'm talking about. These Avite Spearmen actually held me off pretty well. They're hitting for only 8 damage and didn't kill there. See, this guy never repelled. I thought maybe it was because they were repelling, but it doesn't look like they are repelling. Well, they repelled a heavy cavalry there. Yeah, see, like this guy, look at this. This guy repelled 2 axe hits with his spear, because their defense value is pretty the attack roll is pretty low. The roll that they have to beat is pretty low. This guy just didn't repel anything. So, and you see, if you look at this guy, repel, 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 repel. Finally a hit, but it did no damage. So I didn't quite anticipate that. I need to think about what repel more. I'm used to just thinking of it as not particularly useful or worthwhile. But in any case, also not a Seir summoner here. He took a little bit of damage, but he also killed a lot of people. And once again, repel, 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 repel. After that, I think he ended up losing defense quite a lot. So he did take some damage there. He took a 10-point hit there. He took another 12-point hit there. So he actually took pretty significant damage. But it only dropped him down to 43 hit points because he has a lot of hit points. And he causes fear, so my troops eventually ran away. So I did lose this battle. However, in the process of losing it, I caused a ton of casualties. I didn't lose any of my mages, and about half my units all told escaped. So, overall, I'm okay with it. I killed all of his chariots. I killed all of his Seir, which he had to summon. That's a summon's worth of Seir. I killed some of his infantry. I didn't kill his Melkart, but I'm coming right back in next turn. And I got Warren Harris, the Son of Steel, who is a national hero. Now, he's not a very good national hero. This is him buffed with the Worthy Heroes mod, and even so, he only has a Sword of Sharpness, he's inspirational, and he has Magic Helmet and Armor. However, Warren Harris' Sword of Sharpness does triple damage versus larger beings. So in this particular situation, Warren Harris is a great person to have. He's waiting one turn while I forge him a Dragon Helmet, which will increase his morale and give him slightly more head protection. I'm also going to forge him, while I'm thinking of it, a better piece of body armor. Black Steel Plate is encumbrance 2. His enchanted armor is only encumbrance 1. And it would only give him 2 extra points of body prot. What I'd like... I would like to forge him like Black Steel Full Plate. But it would give him a lot more encumbrance. Ideally, I would give him Black Steel Full Plate and a Girdle of Might. Now, one of my hammers is being used to forge that Dragon Helmet. Let's actually change that. Let's actually take the hammer away from you and give it to the lab. So you can just forge the Dragon Helmet. Then up here, Theodoric will take this hammer. And he will forge a Black Steel Full Plate. That leaves me 8 Earth Gems, and so I will also forge a Girdle of Might. So next turn, we'll deck Warren Harris out. He'll get a new helmet, he'll get a new set of armor. He also has 3 miscellaneous slots, interestingly, so I'll give him a Girdle of Might. I will also give him this item that I forged. Lifelong Protection. It is tainted, so it might horror mark him, but it'll auto-summon 2 imps every single round, which is a hugely nice effect to have. I also have a Thistle Mace sitting around and a Bane Venom Charm, and probably never going to use that, as I've said before. Actually, I'm also going to give this guy the Thistle Mace to make him Nature 2, and then he can forge Rings of Regeneration. Now, Warren Harris is only hit points... Well, he's 25 hit points, actually. A Ring of Regeneration would be nice for him. So we're going to forge him a Ring of Regeneration and possibly also an Amulet of Resilience. Or an Acorn Necklace. Ooh. Gives him luck. I think he already has luck. He does not have luck. Okay, well, we'll forge him a Ring of Regeneration. So his girdle and his ring, his encumbrance is about to go up, but the girdle will give him some reinvigoration. And actually, the other nature item that he should have, if I have another nature mage standing around somewhere, I do. He should also have Boots of the Messenger. So we're going to gear Warren Harris out pretty heavily, to be honest. This is kind of the opposite of the mini thug idea, but he's cool. I like him. We're gonna try to make it happen, Cap'n. Now, in Saran Forest, a local warlock is preparing a summoning, and I can send a blood mage to help him. So I am actually going to do that. I'm going to send this lady over there to help the warlock, and we'll see what we get out of it, if anything. This is the scary news. Let's view this battle in Dunheim. Therados attacked... No, not this one. So this is just Therados bouncing a scout off the Marverni. The scary news is... Where is it? Oak Beach. Marverni tried to break out of their fort against Therados. And so here's the Marverni army, and it's pretty solid. They've got a lot of Boar Warriors. They've got a lot of Ambibate Nobles. They've got a lot of Druids, who I'm sure are scripted to go against the Undead. They've also got a bunch of Summoned Ogres. And here is Therados' army. Notice something? Yeah, it's huge. It's fucking huge. He's got a ton of Claymen up front. He's got over 800 ghosts. And he's got a national hero who happens to be a Telkeen, who happens to be an enormously powerful rainbow mage. So, here's how this goes down. And he's also got a Hakataride, 2 of them, and a Melia and a few E4s who are priests. Reanimator priests, no less. So, this is an enormous and powerful army. And what happens here is, Therados, with their nature and water magic they have access to, they cast 2 very, very important spells. They cast Quagmire, which penalizes most units for fighting in swamps. However, it does not affect spectral units because they float. And they cast Foul Vapors, which does poison damage to everyone, except people who are immune to poison, like ghosts. And also Claymen. And also Telkeens, because they have poison resistance 15 and regenerate. And Hekaterites, because they are also poison resistant, although they'll probably want to be more poison resistant. But he's got, honestly, a crazy bless, including regeneration. It's a very high level bless, which he's paid for with his bad scales. And so, the priests of the Marverni start blasting out holy anti-undead spells. And it's just not enough, because their troops are constantly taking poison damage in addition to being stabbed by the ghosts. And so they run. And you can see the little green numbers floating up. Those are all poison damage. So they run. Even in the time they had, they caused a lot of damage in the sense that they killed a lot of ghosts. But it really doesn't matter. They lost almost as many units as the ghosts did. And their army was wiped out nearly to a man. 3 of their druids, 1 elder druid, about 10 ambibate nobles, 4 boar warriors, and a few ogres got away, and 1 Marverni bare-chested warrior. The military power of the Marverni has been destroyed, and Therados now owns Marverni territory. So that's bad. That's very bad. On the plus side, Calum did take the Obsidian Waste back from Hinnom, so I don't have to worry about Hinnom having blood slaves anymore. So, we also found a Wolf Oak in the High Peaks, which gives me an extra nature gem, which is nice. I have lots of nature gems now. As soon as my god wakes up, well, I don't think I can't, actually. I mean, I'm heading up to Alteration level 5, and I'll try to throw up Mother Oak as soon as my god wakes up. So, yeah. So the war against Hinnom is going fine. This is enormously worrying. Marverni have their territory back, but they've just pretty much, but they've just lost a fort. And they've lost... This fort is still under siege for some reason. And they've just lost their huge stack that stopped me in my tracks. And Therados does not seem to have anyone stopping him. He just, I mean... I don't know what this is. I'm hoping this is Atlantis fighting Therados. But... I don't know. I'm worried about it because... Ooh, baby. And if you look over here, you'll notice Therados has 3 forts, all of which are going to be free spawning. So there's also that. Yeah, it's a real problem. Therados is going to run out of money, but at this point, he's clearly shifted entirely to gem economy. He's summoned a whole bunch of claymen. He's got a huge number of ghosts. He's got 2 Telkeens, 2 national Telkeen heroes, despite having Misfortune 2. So he is in an incredibly good spot. It's a serious, serious problem, and I am very, very worried about it. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. Literally nothing. I can't go underwater, and I can't effectively fight Therados without magical weapons. Now, the only way I could fight something like this would be to gear out a whole bunch, not a couple, a lot of warrior chiefs with magical weapons, armor, and magic resistance gear, and send them in. And if I geared them right, they should be able to destroy a lot of ghosts. But, oof. It's bad. I mean, this is very bad news. Especially him having the Telkeens. Having the Telkeens magnifies his power tremendously. So I'm worried about that, but I can't focus on it right now. I have to focus on Hinnom. I'm sending the remnants of my troops back into Arcocephali to keep the pressure on him. He's going to have 2 Melkarts, but his army is going to be reduced a lot. This army is down to 19 units total. He's got about 10 with another Melkart coming in. I think I've got about 50 troops coming in. I think they should be able to manage it. If not, I have Sigismund bringing in another 35 immediately. And then I'm going to have Warren Harris coming in with his magic sword of sharpness pretty soon. And he will have a fairly beefy army that will be heading for Hinnom. So Hinnom kind of has to make a choice at this point. Does he want to try and hold Arcocephali, which is a capital site that could be helpful to him? Or does he want to try and hold his actual capital? If I can take Hinnom's capital, that's it. Hinnom is out of the game. He can't recruit Melkarts, he can't recruit Baals. He'll be effectively ruined as a power. So that's the plan, and we'll see how well I can execute it, especially in the face of the Ghost Apocalypse in my back line here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in turn 33. Alright, turn 33. This is actually directly after the previous turn, and it went really well. We reanimated 50 skeletons in the Weald. This turn I'm reanimating 50 more while also reviving a Mound King to lead them, and next turn I will reanimate 50 more, and then that will be my Death Gems gone, but that will also be 150 skeletons. In other messages, captured about 20 blood slaves. Battle in Gifa, just for fun. I sent a scout to Gifa because I saw he'd made no province defense, and so I was like, maybe there's nothing here. And there was stuff here, including a commander he had, but the commander was scripted to retreat. So the commander ran away. And my scout automatically won. So we took that province. Other battles. Marverni bounced Therados here, and in Oak Beach, Therados attacked the Marverni with a very small force of ghosts. I think they were thinking that the fort must be empty. In actual fact, the fort has a ton of Sequani Stargazers and an Elder Druid and just more Stargazers and another Druid down there. 3 more Druids, actually. In actuality, the fort has quite a bit of stuff in it, and they summoned some Fall Bears, and it looks like some more Ogres. So, they actually held off really, really well. Just blasting the ghosts with holy spells. So, yeah, that did not... Oh, okay, there's some gifts from heaven. So we know they've got, we know the Marverni have got evocation now. So, Therados was wiped out with no losses, leaving the Marverni free to move. Now, they were free to move because the main Marverni army has moved up to besiege... The main Therodian army, rather, has moved up to besiege Marverni. And this force cannot, of course, deal with that army, so Marverni's still in trouble. But they're now besieging this fort over here, and I don't know with what exactly, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm just moving my scouts through Therados over here. This one scout, other scouts are chugging up in this direction. This scout is actually going to kind of keep going so I can get into Niflheim and see what's going on in that part of the world. Over here. More fighting in Hinnom. So Hinnom attacked me in Storn Woods. This is where I had just moved in my next blob of troops. And so he attacked me with not a Seir Summoner and a bunch of Avite Spearmen, and I think just Avite Spearmen and some Avite Archers, plus 1 Avite Commander. Add Melkart, the Avite Commander. So I have got, over here, a big old blob of Axe Warriors with 1 Mage and 1 Warrior Chief, Asila. So let's see what happens. So we're casting Earth Power, he's Blessing, we're going to drop Strength of Giants, he's dropping Phoenix Power on himself. The troops are going in. I don't know why, so full disclosure, I do not know why he summoned Phoenix Power. It gives him more fire magic, but he's not casting spells. And all it does is make him more fire resistant. Maybe he was afraid I would cast fire spells at him, but I literally haven't been doing that, and in fact Sigismund can't do that, he's a water mage. So, now this is why I really like Ulm's troops. So watch, they're all up to strength 24. So watch, they collide, and boom, and boom, And that's what I was hoping for. The Avite troops just go away. Now, because of the fear of not a Seir summoner gets wrecked very, very quickly. Because of the fear, unfortunately, my troops do rout. Their morale fails them, and they run away. However, they did so much damage so quickly that not a Seir summoner also runs away with his 3 hit points and his battle fright. So his morale is down to 13, so he flees. And he is fleeing, but my commanders are slower, and some of my units are very, very slow when it comes to starting to run. And so, not a Seir summoner actually does manage to run off the battlefield before my troops retreat. The archers stay, because they have this Avite commander back there helping him out, but not a Seir summoner gets off the battlefield before all of my troops do, including this poor crippled axe warrior. And so I lose the battle, but not a Seir summoner dies during the retreat. There's a Melkart over here, but it's not a Melkart. Not a Seir summoner is dead. He must have tried to run to Arcocephale and died. So, or to here or somewhere. So, that's a Melkart killed for no losses. I've given Sigismund more troops, and he's going right back in doing exactly the same thing. Down here in Arcocephale, I have retaken the province for no losses. I'm going to be retaking Storn Woods. I'm also going to take Faircliff down here, just to ensure that I have plenty of room and to get that Lilium Vale back to increase my Death Gem income. Excuse me. I don't think the attacking with the scout thing is going to work twice, so we're just going to sneak up here. There is province defense down here. He's recruiting Avite chariots. He might potentially move his chariots over here to oppose me. If he does, they would probably actually work, because if you're going alone, you do not need Legions of Steel. You need Strength of Giants, actually. There we go. They might work because I only have 18 units, and I don't think they could kill 7 chariots. I guess really I don't need quite this many, so let's take Gerlach, and let's actually move Gerlach down here as well. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so he'll be casting spells on both gangs there. Great. Up here, the walls of Hinnom are moderately damaged. I've got 70 skeletons on hold and attack closest. Hold and attack closest. Yeah, Agrowolf is unfortunately still dying. I could save him. And I can save him by forging a Ring of Regeneration. I can't forge the Miraculous Cure-All Elixir because I'm not high enough level. But forging the Ring of Regeneration would save him. Actually, I'll tell you what, I've already forged the Ring of Regeneration. I gave it to Varn Harris. So Varn Harris right now is Morale 22, regenerates, resistant to fire and cold, reinvigoration 6, so he's fatigue neutral, protection 23. He's quite solid. At some point, as soon as I hit construction 6, I'll swap that out for a Armor of Knights, which has less of a defense and encumbrance penalty. But I'm actually going to take his ring off. You are going to cast Pack of Wolves every turn forever. So Varn Harris is sneaking forward with some troops. And Agrowolf. I am going to take Agrowolf. Give those ogres to him. And him. And Agrowolf come back here. Where you can grab the Ring of Regeneration, and I think that'll keep him alive because I think it will prevent him from losing HP from the disease. Yeah, he'll still rack up afflictions, but at least he'll be free of the disease. Also, I'm going to want to forge another Ring of Regeneration because I want Warren Harris to have one. I'm also actually going to replace the Girdle of Might. I thought better of it shortly after I did it. I'm going to give him a Flask of Holy Water because my blessing is actually pretty hefty. Withering Weapons, Magic Resistance, Blood Surge, and Dark Vision. In combination with his hat, that will give him 100% Dark Vision. So if I ever cast Darkness, say with Mound Fiends or something, he'll be able to see perfectly well under darkness. One other thing I want to do at some point here is I want Meliath to have a skull staff, so she's death 3. And then I'll go down conjuration with that. But for right now, she's going to summon packs of wolves, because I am turning on the blood hunting faucet. We've already got these provinces being blood hunted. We need to get some poly, actually need to go down there to give them sanguine dowsing rods. We've got 2 people blood hunting with dowsing rods here. These 2 are going to move down here and are going to blood hunt in ripe woods with sanguine dowsing rods. We are recruiting a commander. Actually, I'm going to recruit a cheaper commander who can lead the patrollers, because I have an extra command point because of the way I finished the fort this turn. And so we'll be blood hunting this. I'm also going to blood hunt Troya. It generates a lot of income, but it's important to get blood slaves. So I'm going to start blood hunting Troya, and I'm going to start blood hunting Temiglia, because now that I have this fort, I have a connection that's not interrupted by a river. So I can skip across this river while it is still winter and it's frozen with 2 ladies with sanguine dowsing rods. And I can start blood hunting that place. That's why I'm summoning wolves. I'm going to cast a pack of wolves probably 6 or 8 times and just give them to random commanders and have them patrol to keep my blood hunting efficient. My income right now is like 20 to 30 slaves per turn, which is not enough. Well, it's not even quite that. It's an average of 4 from each of these ladies. So on average, it's 8. It's an average of like 2.5 from each of these ladies. Actually less, because they're only 40% success. It's an average of 2. So like 12, 20. Yeah, it's about 20. And putting this province, and this province into production will increase it to over 30. Then we'll see where else we go. I'll probably also put the Weald into blood hunting production, while I'm also recruiting sages there for that delicious, delicious research. And of course, I am also producing 2 owl quills per turn. I'm forwarding another dwarven hammer real quick. 1 dwarven hammer is actually not being used, so we're going to give it to this owl quill guy. And that makes my owl quills... Why am I only making 2 air gems per turn? I was making... Oh, 2 of them came... No, that's water gems. Desert of Visions? I was making 4 air gems per turn for a while. Oh, Mount Cephalos, that's right. So once I have Mount Cephalos back again, 2 guys forging owl quills with hammers will be air gem neutral. I won't be losing air gems on that. So I'll be able to just pump out more and more quills to hand to all my sages and my various other mages that are researching. And my research will start to go up. Currently, it has been going up, but not nearly so fast as I need it to, because what I need is I need to hit these research goals. I need to hit Alteration 5, and then I need to hit Construction 6. And then I need to go up Blood to level 7. And at Blood level 7, I have Curse of Blood, which I can cast very easily. And I will start spamming out Vampire Lords with my Blood Gem income. In an ideal world, in a perfect world, I would also take the Obsidian Waste, and I would have those Garnet Sorceresses as well, and I would use them to very rapidly begin hunting these provinces. Now, I'm sure Calum will object to that, and Calum does have an Aussie, so we'll see. I don't think I have the research to really fight a whole... I don't know. I mean, my research is just garbage. It's just a garbage fire. But, hopefully it'll be fine. It's going to stay pretty low because we're going to be transitioning all our recruits from the Cursed Land into blood hunting for a while. But as soon as we can get a fort built over here, it'll go up, because right now it's going up by about 7 points per turn from this province. Building a fort would jump it. I just don't have the money to build another fort right now. My income is so garbage, and all of it is going to recruiting mages. So we'll see. I'm moving one of my Mound Kings back here to pick up troops. I'm also reviving another Mound King because I'm going to have too many troops for one Mound King to pick up. And so they too will help with the siege of Hinnom. And the question then will be, it's moderately damaged already, which indicates to me that he does not have much at all inside there. I'm sure he has a Melkart. He's probably trying to summon something. I think he's also moving these guys up in an effort to reinforce. We'll see how it goes for him. I think I'm going to be able to just storm Hinnom with raw numbers of skeletons, basically. I think I'm just going to have, because I already have 70 skeletons. I'm going to have another 150 or so. I'm going to just swarm him with skeletons. I am going to need to buff them. So these mages need to head up in that direction. I also need to put Peacehaven under siege is the thing. I need them to not be churning out units. So I'm gonna put them under siege. I'm gonna take Godegazel and Wilhelm north. Yeah, actually, I'll tell you what. Those two go north. These two go south. Yeah, that's gonna have to be the way this is. It means they won't get buffed, but I don't think Hinnom's going to try and come out and fight me. If I was him, I would kind of be cowering in the fortress right now. So, what I want to have 5 or 6 mages here so that I can effectively buff all these skeletons to make them hit harder, and then they can go in and cut down the giants. Because they're not as good as my troops at killing things. Axe warriors are significantly better at actually killing large things than Ulmish Longdead are. Ulmish Longdead have higher attack value, but they attack only once. And so the Axe Warriors who attack twice build up defense penalties on the people they're attacking much more quickly. Now, one advantage of Longdead is Longdead can't be repelled because they have perfect morale, so they just take the hit and push their attack through. So against people with long weapons, that's a decided advantage, but they will take more casualties, they won't do as much damage. They are, of course, also very vulnerable to banishment, and I don't have any counters to banishment. Because the counter to banishment is anti-magic, which is an astral spell, and I have exactly 1 astral mage. And he is astral 1. Although actually, Power of the Spheres makes you more powerful in astral, but Light of the Northern Star requires 3, and it costs 2 pearls. Because I was thinking, it would be kind of hilarious if it was possible to ramp up through Light of the Northern Star to cast anti-magic. But it's not. It's not possible. You have to be Astral 2 in order to cast anti-magic, and if you are Astral 2, then you can just cast it with 2 pearls straight away. Having the ability to cast anti-magic will be incredibly valuable. So, incredibly valuable, because anti-magic kicks the magic resistance of my Ulmish Axe Warriors from 8 up to 12, which makes them much more durable against enemy spells. It also kicks my Longdead from 9 up to 13. So, yeah, that's the thing I want. I can actually already form communions, technically, because my blood mages can become Sabbath slaves, and Sabbaths and communions are the same thing. So, since I have Thaumaturgy 1 and Blood Magic 1, I can form mixed astral blood communions. I just don't want to take my Garnet Sorceresses away from blood hunting and researching and forging sanguine dowsing rods. So that's not going to happen for a little while. But that's turn 33. I'm doing much better than I had expected, to be honest. I am a little bit surprised that I'm still alive. I'm even more surprised that I'm winning against Hinnom. Well, no, I expected to be winning against Hinnom because Ulm is really, really good at killing giants. So that in particular is not a huge surprise, but I'm surprised that I'm being left in peace to win against Hinnom. And we'll see how long that carries on. If I can take Hinnom itself, that will be a huge boost, both income-wise and production-wise. And then if I can also take his fort down there, I'll be in super good shape. Then the question will be, who do I have to fight next? Mictlan would be an easy target because he's small and weak. I don't want to fight the Marverni because they are fighting Therados, and so I'm going to let that happen and hope that the two more or less obliterate each other. Although I suspect, because there was a pile of units here with another Telkine, I suspect that Telkine has moved up here and is now going to be moving up into Marverni territory, which is going to give the Marverni a huge problem. But I'm hoping that the Marverni managed to beat back Therados, and then maybe I can sneak in and take over. Like, I would really, really like this province back. This is such a good province. It's got so many gems. So many gems. I love it. I want it. I'm also going to take this throne at some point here. I suspect that the units are starting to starve. At least I hope so. I'm actually, at some point here, I'm going to bounce a scout off them to see what exactly is still left there and if they're starving. And this throne would also be nice to take, although this throne will be a bitch to take, because easier for me since I have death magic, but still a problem. We're starting to get the Forges of Ulm fired up. We're getting the blood economy fired up. Things are going pretty well, except for the lousy research, which we should be starting to fix fairly soon. Wish I had more fire gems. I really kind of do. That said, I don't wish it enough to actually send out all my fire mages site searching, which is what I would need to get more fire gems. I can afford to send out a couple. Because with more fire gems, I'll be able to start forging lightless lanterns as well as owl quills, and that will definitely help my research too. Let's send Uric. It's hurting my research in the short term, but everything that I want to do hurts my research, to be fully honest. Let's also send out Geberic, and we'll have Geberic search for fire sites. Let's have him sneak up here. He can search in there. Let's actually have him search in our backfield first. Because you need at least Fire 2 to cast the remote site searching fire spell, and I have not yet randomed a Death Fire Shaman. I would like to, but I haven't. It's low percentage. You have to random... I mean, it's 25% to get the path you want here, and then it's 12.5% to get the path you want down here. So it's only 3% of shamans have any given 2-path combination. It's the same as the odds of randoming a Death 2 shaman. Hopefully I'll get one eventually, and then I can forge Skulls of Fire, and Skulls of Fire will let me boost Fire up to level 2, and that will be useful, but I haven't done it yet, and I can't really count on it happening since I'm only producing shamans from one location. Because for all that I've built a number of temples, I don't actually have temples in my forts, which is a little bit of an oversight. Except for this one. I have a temple in this fort, so I can build shamans here, but I'm more interested in building black witches here, because they give me guaranteed death and a 25% chance of death 2, instead of a 3% chance of death 2. So in any case, that's the turn. I'll see you all in turn 34. Alright, turn 34, and the war against Hinnom is going just fine. Coming out of my cage, I've been doing just fine. Gotta get down, etc. I don't know what to say about this. This might be related to the fact that a patch just dropped. So possibly Ermor was like recruiting a maid and his cost changed? I don't know, but I can't picture that somebody would cheat for 25 gold. That seems silly. Like if it was 1,000 gold, yeah, maybe, but I have not seen any cheating in the Dominions. Well, I can't say that now. There was a little bit of drama on the Discord about somebody who was playing 2 nations in a game at once, but that's been resolved. So, in any case, let's get back to the messages. So, I've hit alteration level 5, so now I have Wooden Warriors and Maws of the Earth, which is excellent. I've cast Reanimation a bunch, and Revived a King. I've also started casting Pack of Wolves in order to patrol. Wolves are great patrollers because they cost no upkeep, and you can get them very, very cheaply. So, Vitigoya here is summoning wolves. My 2 black witches are also summoning wolves. And I've got Sanguine Dowsing Rods in this province. I've got Sanguine Dowsing Rods in this province. Polly is going to move over here, actually, because Polly does want a cracker, or more specifically, she wants another couple of SDRs. I think, don't I already... Oh, I already have 2, actually. I'll forge 2 more, I might as well. These 2 ladies are going to go to this province and start blood hunting in it. I'm going to recruit a warrior chief down here because he's stealthy. Actually, I don't necessarily want stealthy. I might as well. I want to have visible units. I don't mind having units visible. So let's not recruit him. Instead, let's recruit a barbarian chief who is much cheaper up here. He'll lead our patrolling force. And we'll gather wolves and such from down here, and we'll put them up there. We're also starting to blood hunt in Ripe Woods. It doesn't give me a whole lot of income, even though it's a fort. And I already have Talbrock patrolling, and I'll be adding more wolves to Talbrock. So we'll be able to keep unrest down. It will pop kill a little bit, but it's also a death province. Why are my scales death 1? Oh, the Silver Sarcophagus. So this event procced this turn. The Silver Sarcophagus was opened, which turned the whole world 2 points towards death, and it gave a lot of units diseases. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem. Occasionally, somebody gets a disease, and it's not a big deal. You just kind of live with it. In this case, however, it diseased Coheed the Barbarian, my prophet. So, yeah, he's going to die. I could theoretically try and save him, but he's just a warrior chief. It's honestly not worth it. I'm just going to let Coheed die. His disease will kill him in about 3 turns here. By that time, I'll have enough leadership here to lead the whole army. I'm moving Warren Harris down with his 50 troops. I've got 100 skeletons coming down. I'm actually going to add these guys to their ranks. Excuse me. And this turn, I'm reanimating 40 more skeletons, plus reviving another Mound King who will lead them down this way once more. Out of money again. I'm actually swapping back from warrior smiths to horticulturists just to save the cash, because it saves me 55 gold a turn, and it gives me almost the same research. They're holding an owl quill, but they're 10, and warrior smiths are 12, so it's not a huge difference. I have enough warrior smiths to be doing basic foraging in any case. I need more earth gems though. I forged another hammer, so I have enough dwarven hammers to be churning items out pretty effectively. And I have 2 guys making owl quills, and they will do that forever, because my air income will stay steady with that until I go search for more air. And that is my plan. In fact, I should take Magenfred here, or actually let's take Crocus. Let's take Magenfred because I need fire as well. And we'll go search all around here for air and earth level 1 sites. Actually, I will tell you what. Give that to Magenfred. Magenfred, you take over forging the owl quills, because you only need air 1 for that. You don't need earth 2. And let's send Gerolf, because the important thing is earth gems. Fire gems, pretty secondary. I don't think I even have any fire 2s yet. Nope, no fire 2 mages. I do have a Runo. I need to empower Runo in blood one more time. I'm going to take the boots off him in case he's attacked by a demon, because he needs to be blood level 3 in order to forge bloodstones, and I desperately want to get a couple of bloodstones out of him before he's murdered by horrors, which will happen eventually. Having trouble tonight. What I'm probably going to do, just to potentially help a little... Where'd he go? We're going to set those ladies to guard commander. Okay, so that might help him. Blood hunting is honestly going okay. If we look at our messages, we're over 20. Didn't capture any in Troban this turn, but then we just gave them their Sanguine Dowsing Rods this turn, so that will kick their upkeep up their output up quite a bit. Polly will go over here, pick up more Sanguine Dowsing Rods, and go over here to Saran Forest. Now, this is where we have this event occurring, where a local warlock is preparing a major summoning. I looked at what that event can lead to. It's highly random, but there's a chance that since I have a Blood Mage in this province, there's a chance, a small chance, but a chance, that this event gives us a free Archdevil. There's also a chance that we straight up lose the province, as an Archdevil attacks it, and there's a chance that the province is attacked by lesser demons, or we get a few free lesser demons and a free mage. Any of those results are okay. I mean, if this province is attacked by an archdevil, that would kind of suck, but it's not a hugely productive province. The only reason I really want to keep it is because it has the Dying Forest that gives me death and nature gems, but it's a risk that I'm willing to take. I mean, this is a meme game anyway. I'm just gambling. I'm rolling the dice here, and the odds are honestly a little bit against me, but I'm going to give it a shot. So we've got a Blood Mage in there. If this succeeds, then I will have a big Fire and Astral Mage for a while, which will be extremely useful. And I will use him offensively probably at once. Because when you have an Archdevil, there is always a chance, I think there's a chance every turn that they break out of your control. I've never actually summoned an Archdevil before, so I can't confirm that, but that's what it looks like from looking at them in the Inspector. There's a chance that an event procs in any given turn where they just break free of your control and become neutral. So we want to, if we have an Archdevil, we need to use him aggressively as quickly as possible. I might, in fact, if I got him, I might think about just going into Redbud Grove. Still haven't bounced a scout off there because I'm using all my scouts to do things. Let's actually bounce you off that province. And we will just set you to retreat and put you way in the back. And since all the provinces you could retreat to here are owned by me, except this one, it should be mostly safe. You have 3 retreat provinces to pick from, only 1 bad one. Odds of dying should be very, very low. Yurik is searching here for fire sites, and then he'll keep wandering around searching for fire sites. There are lots of provinces that have not been searched for fire. Geberik is also searching for fire sites. So, over here, Siege of Hinnom going fine. They're still at moderately damaged, but we are adding more troops by the turn. Next turn, we'll actually see 170 troops added, which should tip the balance towards us, because, I mean, siege strength will more than double. And I picture we should crack this fort very quickly. Now, I do have to say, they have the son of Kokabel, apparently, who is a national hero, I believe. And they've now made him their prophet. So, with their prophet in here, plus whatever other priests they have recruited, whatever, like their, because their mages are holy. Hinnom has Kohens and Baals, who are also priest level 1s. I think he might have 1 Melkart in there as well. And then, who else are priests? The Kedesim and Kedesot are priests. Well, they're whores actually, but they're also priests. You know, they're temple servants. So he probably can spam banishment pretty hard, which will ruin my long dead pretty well. Yeah, so that's something I'm going to have to look out for, but I should just be able to crack the fort, and then to be honest, my 90 human units should be able to pretty much just bust in and lay waste to the place. I will need more mages. Agrowolf is jumping down here so he can get into a fight where he can regenerate. I have given him his Ring of Regeneration. And so he should regenerate about a hit point per round, which should keep him alive for a while, and then he'll be able to come back and help me out. Like I said, since I have Alteration 5, antlered shamans can now cast Wooden Warriors on me, as well as shamans who random nature 2, but that is extremely rare. Can't afford to recruit another antlered shaman right now, so I'm stuck with the 2. They can also cast Swarm. So Godegazel is definitely going to come over to help, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully Agrowolf as well. I've been in contact with Calum, and one reason why I have so little gold right now is I am buying yet another owl quill from Calum. They asked me if I wanted to buy anything, basically because they have no money. Because if you look, their land is pretty garbage for income. They've got their capital, which is a mountain highlands. They've got a waste. They've got a swamp. They've got another mountain. They've got a forest, another highlands, and then they have one farm that is also a mountain. So there's no money in here. Like, their capital will be giving them, 300 or something. And then all of these provinces added up probably don't give them another 300. Their total income is probably under 600, I would imagine. So, that being what it is, they're not a threat. The only threat this whole nation poses is Angela Thistlebottom the Aussie. And Angela does not have a bless of any functionality. So once I deal with Hinnom, I'll be able to go in and deal with Calum very, very easily. If you can look, they have about 20 units here, mainly area Seraphines. Area Seraphines... if we pull up Calum, area Seraphines are either this one, they're Fire 1. That's it. I remember being confused about why he had all those. Over here, he's got area Seraphs. Mainly area Seraphs, so probably 5 or 6. Area Seraphs are not bad mages. That was the wrong button. Why did I click that button, knowing it was the wrong button? Area Seraphs are Air 2, so they can throw lightning bolts. He does not have any Eagle Kings, so he can't storm. Or he might be able to storm, but he also probably has garbage for research. So he's in a bad spot, and I'm going to eat him. Therados seems to be holding on okay against the Marverni. It looks like they may have lost a battle or two, because that big 500 stack they had a little while ago is very much reduced. That said, they're also getting their Death 3 scales all over. Yeah, that's the same Dominion right there. I don't think Old Guy with a Stick had... Old Guy with a Stick did have Death. Never mind. I need to build more temples. Yes, I need more temples. Yes, I do. Unfortunate, because I don't have the spare income for it at the moment. But we will do our best. So, we're going to take Hinnom. I don't think he can stop me. After that, we may actually have peace for a little while we build up more temples, build up more mages, and spread our blood hunting further and get a fort here. Because we're going to need a fort there. We're definitely going to need a fort here in Arcos of Fale. And then we'll have to decide what we do next. Probably eat Calum. Possibly fight a war with Ermor or Niflheim or Tir na Nog, all three of whom seem to be fairly large and in charge. Tir na Nog has been fighting and doing so, I think, very successfully. So is kind of reduced down here. I don't know who exactly owns all this territory. I think it's probably mostly Tir na Nog, though. However, I don't know what the borders of Niflheim are to any degree. So we're going to move this little scout, Trianus, through his territory. We've also got all these scouts sneaking down to head out this way and filter out and show me more of the world. Because I've got a really good idea of what's going on this coast, but not on this coast. And I need to find out what's going on in this big blob of territory before I can really make strategic decisions. But to be honest, we are in a shockingly good position. I am downright surprised to be doing this well. Right now, I think I'm one of the bigger nations in the game. And a lot of that is because I've taken these 6 provinces from Hinnom. And I'll shortly have these as well and have this fort under siege. I'm moving to besiege it right now. But, yeah. We're doing really well. I'm shocked and almost appalled that we're doing so well. Our god will be out in a couple turns. Irminsul. And my research strategy is vampires. That's my research strategy. I'm going to hit construction level 6 to make sure I can forge all the basic items that I need. And then I'm going to go straight down blood magic, and I'm going to try to get to blood magic by, say turn 60. Maybe turn 50. So that will require really buckling down and focusing on research, and it will require really focusing on blood, but all I need are blood slaves, and my god can summon vampires out of the box. So once he wakes up, it is vampire Ulm. We're going to be cosplaying late age Ulm in the early age, and it will be a trip, boys and girls. It will be interesting, assuming, of course, that nobody comes and kills me before I do that. I am going to take Redbug Grove, and yeah, we'll see how things develop, because once I have access to summoning vampires, then me stagnating isn't so much of a problem, because vampires are incredibly powerful mages and also immortal. So if I get into a war, once I have a bunch of vampires, I just toss them into the enemy. They kill a bunch of people and then die, respawn, I toss them into the enemy over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Obviously, you have to be a little bit careful with them, because them dying does impose a delay, but then they fly, so the delay is short. They just whoop, whoop, and they're wherever you need them to be. So that, by the way, when I say vampires, I'm not referring to the vampire units. I'm referring to vampire lords. I know that's a little bit confusing. It's just kind of a shorthand. So at level 7, you have a spell that lets you summon vampires, which are just units that are invulnerable and have a life drain attack. And then there's Curse of Blood, which is the spell that matters. It lets you summon vampire lords. This is what I'm talking about when I say vampires, typically. They are Death 3, Blood 3 mages. Yeah, that's right. There's 6 path mages for 77 blood slaves. And they're immortal. And they have invulnerability 25. They're possibly the most underpriced summon in the game. I say possibly. I'm pretty sure they're the most underpriced summon in the game. And they are the single reason that, or like, they're one of the main reasons that Blood is such a powerful school. Because if a Blood Nation gets up to level 7 and has Death 4 somewhere, it can use Curse of Blood to summon Vampire Lords. And any Vampire Lord can then be handed a Skull Staff and summon more Vampire Lords. So they go off the chain very, very quickly, especially because Vampire Lords are extremely effective Blood Hunters because they are Blood level 3. So you summon a Vampire Lord, you add him to your Blood Hunting force, he immediately bumps up your Blood Slave income. You use that income to summon another Vampire Lord in a few turns, add him to the force, etc., etc. Pretty soon you're pumping out a Vampire Lord every turn or every 2 turns, and since they're immortal, they can't be stopped, except by very, very specific strategies. So, that's the goal. The goal is to drown the world in blood and death, and I think we have a chance of pulling it off. I feel like I'm in with a shot at this point. Don't know what's going to happen to me later on. Don't know what research everybody has, but Calum is extremely weak. Mictlan is extremely weak. Marverni is extremely busy with Therados, who isn't as strong as I don't think is as strong as I was afraid. I don't have much information on Atlantis, and Atlantis might be quite strong, because at worst, Atlantis might have... Atlantis could easily be competitive with me on province count, because they might have something over here as well. Other interesting things this turn before I leave. Random event. In the wheel, the sage has appeared. He searches for a place called the Library of Time. Now seeks employment in your service. This is an interesting one because the Library of Time is an actual site. The Library of Time is a random site. It's a high-level astral site, and it is bonkers. It's a really good site, and it allows recruitment of sages, and also I think another commander. I haven't looked at it in a little while, but the Library of Time is really good. However, that random event there's 2 versions of it, and they both have exactly the same message. And one of them actually means that the Library of Time is close, is in one of the adjacent provinces. And one of them means nothing. It just gives you a free sage, and it's impossible to tell which. They have the same message exactly, if I recall correctly. So, what I'm probably going to do with that is, at some point here, I'm going to take this throne, with the Centaur Warriors and the Vine Ogres, and doubtless a mage. And I'm going to search it for astral sites, and if the Library of Time is there, this is the province that has the highest chance, because it's a throne, which is a province, and having a throne has a much higher chance of having magic sites. And it's also a mountain, which has a higher chance of having magic sites. So if it's anywhere, I would imagine it's here. I'll search these places as well, but for right now, the Library of Time is what I'm focused on. I want to be moving my sages around site searching for astral. Can't afford to right now. They provide so much research. I want them sitting around researching, because these 3 guys provide, right now, literally almost 60 research, and that's, like, a significant chunk of the research of my entire nation. I'm actually going to stop recruiting these guys, because I want to save up money a little bit, because I want to build a fort in the Weald post-haste. I've got this fort built and upgraded. I need a fort here. I only have 4. Having 4 forts on turn 34 is like... Well, for most games, that would be extremely slow. For a game this cramped, might be justifiable. But in any case, that is turn 34. I'll see you in turn 35 as we intensify the Siege of Hinnom and prepare to claim all the remainder of Hinnomite territory and settle in for a good old vampire spamming Ulmish good time. Take care.